Broadcast bloodbath. Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon out in major media shakeup. That a headline in Politico yesterday. So Tucker is out at Fox, and to a much lesser extent, Don Lemon out at CNN. For more on this, let's bring in former Arkansas governor and presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Governor, great to see you again. Good to have you on. What a morning. Let's start with Tucker Carlson. The LA Times reporting that he was pushed out by Rupert Murdoch, basically making the assumption that 92-year-old Rupert Murdoch is mad that he had to pay Dominion almost $800 million. Do you think there's something to that? Do you think that Dominion might have given Fox News an ultimatum as part of that settlement? Hey, we want Tucker gone in addition to paying us $787 million?
I don't know what happened. Everyone is speculating at this point. Tucker hasn't released a statement, and Fox's statement was so obscure that it really left a whole lot more questions than it provided answers. I guess it's one of those mornings I wake up and I say, boy, I'm just glad to be somewhere. You know? I mean,
right.
Yesterday was a pretty crazy day. I certainly understand the Don Lemon firing. I mean, that should have happened years ago. He was rude. He was really, in some ways, even at the point of racist. He certainly was a misogynist, arrogant, and his ratings were deplorable. Tucker had sky-high ratings, and that's very unusual that in a television setting, a person who's bringing in that kind of revenue with those sorts of ratings would be shown the door. And I think it was pretty evident that it was not an amicable parting, because the fact that it happened on a Monday morning and the announcement was, hey, his last show was last week, which means he didn't get to say goodbye. There wasn't a finale. There wasn't a tearful farewell. It was just wake up Monday morning and send for your things.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but let's just say this. It probably wasn't the sweetest of partings.
No, I mean, look, Tucker's going to be fine. We're talking about the biggest name in conservative media, without question, Tucker Carlson. Still young, by the way. With Don Lemon, to your point, it was punitive. He should have been let go a long time ago, but for whatever reason, he was not. What do you think comes next for Tucker? Do you think he could get into politics?
I mean, he might. I think he's a pretty smart guy, and so maybe he's too smart to do that. Some of us who have done it would say, Tucker, you're too smart to do this. But all seriousness, he very well may. I mean, he certainly has the name ID. He has an enormous following. But I will also say this, that getting into politics is a whole different animal. And I think he would be wise to be very careful and ask himself, does he want to put himself and his family through a ringer that is unlike anything he's been in the media circus? I'm not saying there's not a media circus, because there is. But boy, oh boy, getting into politics and having to disclose every last thing about yourself and your finances and your past and history, it's a different grinder.
Yeah, you make a good point, too. They didn't let him sign off, so there was no final show. Brian Stelter pointed out that CNN gave him a final show. Newsmax CEO Chris Ruddy put out a statement yesterday saying Fox has been moving to become establishment media for a long time. This move is a big milestone in that effort. There's definitely something to that. Glenn Beck added to that, noting that this is a suicidal move for Fox. I'm wondering what you think comes next, not just for Tucker, but for Fox News. This is bizarre to me just because Tucker was at the absolute pinnacle right now. It's not like he was dipping in the ratings. He was far and away number one still, Governor.
That's what makes this, I think, really problematic for Fox in the coming weeks and months is how do they replace him? And there will be some people who will leave the viewership. I think one of the ways in which it hurts them financially immediately is in the Fox Nation platform, their digital platform. Tucker had a huge presence there and was responsible for bringing a lot of subscribers. The big question is how many of them say, okay, Tucker's not here, neither am I. Adios. That would be a revenue loss in addition to whatever revenue loss may happen from his nightly television show.
Okay, Governor, a little pivot here, but while I've got you, I've got to do this. I'm just hearing in my ear that it's official. The 46th governor of your home state, Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson, is going to formally announce tomorrow that he is a candidate for the 2024 Republican nomination. Of course, your daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, took over for him in the governor's mansion in Little Rock. Your reaction to that, is this the right time for Asa Hutchinson?
Well, Asa believes that it is. He's a friend of mine, but he's decided that his lane is to be the anti-Trump candidate. I'm not sure that's a good lane. I've made it very clear. I support Donald Trump for re-election for a host of reasons, not the least of which is he was an outstanding president. And if you just maybe get past some things that he would say or tweet and say, well, I wish he hadn't have said that. But by golly, as president, he did everything we hoped that a president would do, and the most effective pro-life, pro-Israel reformation candidate when it comes to taxes and regulation that we've ever had. And so, and he did it, by the way, against all headwinds. As the old saying went, when Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire were dancing, they say what a great dancer Fred was, and Ginger would say, yeah, but I did it in high heels and backwards. In many ways, that's how Donald Trump had to lead, because he was constantly being persecuted and prosecuted for nonsense. And yet he got up every day and he got things done. I'd like to see him have his second term.
Yeah, and the polls certainly reflect that right now. A Morning Consult poll out just this morning gives Donald Trump a 37-point lead over Ron DeSantis, the next closest candidate. Governor Mike Huckabee, great having you back on this morning. We appreciate it. We'll do it again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.